welcome to this presentation. My name is Jamie Robles and I'm going to be talking about the United Kingdom today. And we're going to start with some information about them. Their population is about 66 million and their official name is the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. Their time zone, they're ahead of us by 10 hours. And their main language is English. And also, I found out about the UK. It's made of 4 different countries: England, Wales, Scotland, and Northern Ireland. And London is the unofficial capital of the UK, and it's the most influential in world politics, finance, and culture. And it's also the United Kingdom is a member of the European Union. The United Kingdom is considered a low context culture, the same as the United States. Why are they a low context culture? Because they have short-term relationships, they are flexible and open, they are task-oriented, and they follow rules and standards. And they also have their contracts tend to be longer and really detailed. I also added a visual right here about the low context and high context, and we can see on this corner right here that the United Kingdom and the United States are on the same quadrant, so they're on the same level of the context of culture. The currency for the United Kingdom is the pound sterling. The exchange rate is $1. It's equals to 1.27 pounds. And then tips are expected. The average is 10%, and they don't expect to tip like in clubs, pubs, or bars. But other than that, it's expected if you give tips. Is something they expect. When you travel to the United Kingdom, the US citizens, they don't need visas and they only need a valid passport. But before landing to the United Kingdom, they need to have a landing card filled out, and they need to include their name, their gender, date of birth, occupation. They need the address where they're going to be staying at the United Kingdom, their nationality. That's a few things. That's the things that they need to fill out when they get to the United Kingdom. They also advise people to be careful because terrorism is something that it's happening and it happens, and the United Kingdom is like a high priority for terrorism. So they warn travelers about that, and they also advise to avoid traveling during the months of July through August because of the holidays or events that are happening, so it's a little bit hard, or crowded. Business etiquette. The first thing will be punctuality. The British really value time because it's really important for them. They are conscious about their time, and us or other countries might feel like they live their lives very rushed. But that's the way they actually see their time. It's as a very important thing because they want to avoid losing time. They try to take advantage of their time. And why do they do this? Because it's something that they really value as an economic resource. And also they consider it really very impolite if you arrive late for a business meeting, because respecting their time is important, really important. So when going to a meeting in the UK, you have to be aware that being on time is the rule. So if you're late, let's say 5 minutes, that's okay. But if you're late 10 minutes, you should call them and let them know that you're running late. But if you feel like you might be late more than 15 minutes, you should just call and make a new appointment, because they have appointments or they already have a schedule set up for the day, so you don't want to like hold them back because the time is running and they have other things to do. So you have to be aware of that. And also when attending social events, depending the type of the event, the guests are okay if they arrive 15 minutes after the specified time, but it also depends the type of the event. And a golden rule that they have is that you should plan ahead. So if the meeting that you're going to, it's very important, you should leave ahead of time to be able to get there on time, because you don't know what can happen. There might be an accident, there might be delays. So you want to plan accordingly to where you're going, the time that you have to be there, traffic, weather, and all of those things, to be able to be there on time and not be late and be disrespectful to other people's time. Business etiquette, some of the things are like gift giving. It's not a usual thing for British business. Some organizations are encouraged not to accept gifts, but others like have legal grounds for workers not to accept gifts. So it depends. But if you offer a gift, you don't want to offer like a really expensive gift, because that will be like a bribe, or they will consider it as a bribe. But you don't want to also give an inexpensive gift that they might consider an insult. So it has to be just like right in between. So it's not either of both, an insult or a bribe. Like they give you an ideas of what good gifts you can do. It could be like flowers, it could be alcohol, it could be books, it could be pens, it could be greeting cards from your company. Another thing that I researched was that they should like also souvenirs from the country you're coming from. I feel like that one, it's like a really nice gift to give to someone, because like you're giving something from the place that you're coming from. So it's something not too expensive and it's perfect as a gift. For business communications, they introduce, depending upon the circumstances of the situation, a handshake is typically expected when you first meet someone, and it's advisable to open a conversation with a like neutral topic, like weather related. It could be about where to go eat and drink, or places that you can go and visit. Also, you can start a conversation with open-ended questions. And some greetings that they have are like good morning, good afternoon, good evening, which is the same as us here. You don't want to ask personal questions or really get into their privacy. Their business dress code is really classical conservative attire. The dark colors are the most common, like black, blue, and charcoal. Denim or jeans is not acceptable, but other companies, other industries might have a totally different dress code. It just depends the company, but that's just like the most common dress code that you might find in companies. Their business relationships are very important for them. They also really value their privacy, and their personal space is very important. And also British value politeness and courtesy. So being polite, being courteous with them, that's a big plus. Their agreements are final until they're written, until a written contract has been formally signed and witnessed. Depending of the size or the value of the business, that contract might be subject to review, and it might be approved by an expert in British law. It's also essential to create an atmosphere of trust, fairness, because those are values that the British appreciate, and also they follow established protocol because it's critical to build and maintain those business relationships in the UK. And they're not, it's not customary to give their full names, like last names and first names over the phone. So that's something that they're not used to do. And also academic titles or backgrounds are not as important. And also, I've learned about bribery and corruption is not something acceptable in the UK. Their corruption is really low, so if you go and travel to the UK and you want like bribe somebody, you should think twice, because that's not really how the UK works. So it's better not to do it, and it's advisable not to bribe anyone because you might get in trouble, especially if you're traveling to a different country. And then some behaviors that you can avoid when traveling to the UK, it's like greeting strangers with a kiss, hugging strangers, spitting on the street or spitting in public, asking personal questions or intimate questions. That's a big no, because they are really they really appreciate and they value their privacy, so that's something that you shouldn't do. Long eye contact, it's something that might be seen as rude. So those are a few things that you might want to avoid when traveling to the UK. And I hope that this presentation gave you an idea of what to expect when traveling to the UK to do business, for vacation, whatever reason might be that you want to travel. You know how the currency works, you know what you need to travel, you know what is expected from you, and things that you should avoid. And these ones are some of the sources that I use, and I listed on my PowerPoint. So you guys, if you want, you can go look over them. Thank you for watching, and I hope that you guys learned something. Thank you.